Acrid. Adjective. Having a sharp smell or taste that stings. An acrid smell rose from the burnt toast, and they flung open the kitchen window while the smoke drifted toward the bare branches outside. Panegyric. Noun. A speech or piece of writing that praises someone or something highly. The magazine ran a panegyric to the coach that embarrassed him at the team breakfast. Paramount. Adjective. Chief among concerns, overriding. Safety was paramount on the cliff path, so they turned back when the wind began to lift loose stones. Contentious. Adjective. Likely to cause argument because people disagree strongly. The proposal was contentious, and the room grew tight with side conversations until the chair asked for one voice at a time. Irony. Noun. A situation where the outcome differs sharply from what words or expectations suggest. The irony stung when the safety inspector slipped on the wet floor he had just certified as spotless. Knack. Noun. A natural skill at a particular kind of task. She had a knack for reading tides, knowing when the flats were firm enough for a shortcut. Tactile. Adjective. Related to the sense of touch in a noticeable way. The artist wanted the book to feel tactile, so she chose rough paper, stitched binding, and a cloth cover that warmed quickly in the hand. Auspicious. Adjective. Pointing to a good outcome or favorable conditions. The clear sky at dawn felt auspicious, and the crew launched the boat with quiet confidence as the harbor turned silver. Feign. Verb. To pretend to have a feeling or condition. He did not feign enthusiasm at the ceremony, but he kept his face steady, saving honest reactions for the walk home. Repercussion. Noun. An unintended result that follows an action. They considered the immediate savings, but the potential repercussion of losing experienced staff made the decision far more complex. Prolific. Adjective. Producing many works, results, or offspring. The gardener was prolific, filling neighbors' porches with pots of herbs and sending everyone home with cuttings wrapped in damp paper. Solicit. Verb. To ask formally for help, money, or information. The choir went door to door to solicit donations for new songbooks before the winter concert. Florid. Adjective. Overly fancy in style, or very flushed in the face. The parlor felt florid with gold roses on the paper and velvet that swallowed the little light. Deter. Verb. To discourage someone from acting by making the outcome seem unpleasant. A heavy fine was meant to deter dumping, and the new signs by the riverbank made the message impossible to ignore. Adhere. Verb. To stick to a rule, plan, or surface. If you adhere to the marked trail, you stay above the cliff edge. Misgivings. Noun. Doubts or uneasy feelings about a plan or decision. She had misgivings about signing the lease, and she kept rereading the quiet clauses while rain traced slow lines down the office window. Reiterate. Verb. To say something again for emphasis or clarity. He reiterated the goal at the end of the meeting because the discussion had drifted and several people had taken away different priorities. Definitive. Adjective. Authoritative, settling doubt. The field guide offered a definitive description of the mushroom stem, and they left the patch untouched. Enact. Verb. To make a rule or plan officially active. The new park board voted to enact evening quiet hours, so campers packed up guitars early and listened instead to owls and wind in the pines. Vigilant. Adjective. Carefully watching for problems or danger. During the outage, the on-call engineer stayed vigilant, tracking new alerts and confirming each fix before declaring the system stable again. Xenophobia. Noun. Fear or dislike of people from other countries. The editorial condemned the xenophobia in the campaign flyers left on windshields downtown. Daunt. Verb. To make someone feel intimidated or less confident. The steep switchbacks did not daunt her, and she kept climbing with steady breaths until the lookout opened like a window over the valley. Hearten. Verb. To give someone more hope or confidence. The first clear headline seemed to hearten the volunteers, and they straightened their backs over the folding tables as the sun came through the gym windows. Rancor. Noun. Deep, bitter anger that lasts and colors later dealings. Years of small slights had left rancor between the brothers, so even a shared meal could turn cold. Attrition. Noun. A gradual wearing down by repeated pressure or friction. The dispute wore on through attrition until both sides agreed to split the bill. Forlorn. Adjective. Sad and lonely, as if abandoned. The playground looked forlorn after the storm, swings creaking in the wind while puddles held broken reflections of the sky. Pertinent. Adjective. Directly related to what is being discussed. She asked one pertinent question about the recipe, and the whole bread rose better. Emerge. Verb. To become visible or known as a result of change or time. Over weeks of small experiments, a better strategy began to emerge, shaped by what customers actually did rather than what they claimed they wanted. Discerning. Adjective. Having good judgment, especially about quality. A discerning reader could tell the difference between a rushed argument and a carefully developed idea with sources that held up. Opaque. Adjective. Not clear or easy to understand. The policy was opaque, and employees whispered in hallways, trying to decode a document that sounded confident while revealing almost nothing. Mawkish. Adjective. Sickly sentimental in a way that feels excessive. The film turned mawkish in the final scene, piano swelling as the dog limped home in slow motion. Adversity. Noun. Hardship that tests endurance. Snowbound for days, they met adversity with rationed wood, shared songs and maps drawn on the cabin wall. Consequence. Noun. A result that follows from an action or decision. He weighed the consequence of leaving the windows open, rain on the sill, ruined books, and the smell of wet paper for days. Yowl. Verb. To give a long, loud cry of pain, complaint, or mockery. The cat began to yowl at 3 a.m, demanding a door that would never open. Belated. Adjective. Happening later than it should have. Her belated thank you note arrived with pressed fern leaves inside, and the delay somehow made the gesture feel more thoughtful than hurried. Engender. Verb. To cause a feeling, situation, or condition to develop. The mentor's quiet praise engendered confidence, and soon the intern volunteered ideas without glancing down at the floor. That's everything for this session. If this helped you, Subscribe for more. See you next time.